So in our last video, found these two reference points here and here. So to get this house, we need to come out here and find this point. To do that, you use Pythagoras theorem. So you'd multiply 9.1 by 9.1, 14.98 multiplied by 14.98, add the two of them and find the square root. So, square root would be 17.527. You can do it that, or you can just go to Google. And in Google, if you type in your details, 14.98 here and 9.1 here, here it's rounded up to 17.53. You can see 17.527. So, we now know but this measurement is 17.527. So if we take a tape, put it in this pin, measure down 17.527, take a tape and measure out 14.98, the two tapes together will give this square. So I'll show you so a live demo what that would be. We take a tape from here to here, which in our case is 14.98. And then go to this pin and measure down 17.527, which is there. So that gives us that point. So we now have to square this. So to find our fourth point, we would measure out 14.98 and measure up 9.1. Which is there. So that should be perfectly square. So to double check it, we measure from here is 17.527. And now that we have that, we double check. We have 9.1, or sorry, 14.98. 14.98. 9.1. 9.1. 17.527. 17.527. Right, so now that's perfect. So we have this point, we have this point. It's 9.1. We know this to be 17.53. Measure down 17.527, measure out 14.98, hold the two tapes, put a pin. So you now have this point. So you then measure out 14.98, hold the tape, with another tape you measure up 9.1, hold the two tapes together and put a pin. That gives you the square. So at this stage, it'd be a good idea to double check everything. 9.1, 9.1, 14.98, 14.98, and then you check your squares for 17.527. And at this point, they should all match up. So, to get the back of the house, you measure in here, and you take a line from here straight up. So that'll give you a parallel line. So you measure in your 300, measure in your 300, measure up your 4.8 meters, put a pin. So that line's perfect. We then will do the same process of finding the square for this. So you'll use your two tapes, measure out. You'll do the same thing and measure up for that. So now that you have the house square, I don't use this method, I don't like it. Pins always get knocked and moved. But if you put a pin here, and say a pin here, a pin here, and pull a line. That will give you 2 pins, so when you have the foundation dug and you're ready to build your block work, you can put a line here and here, and that'll give you that perfect line. And then the same here, put a pin here, here, here and here, that's giving you a perfect square. So, now that we have this, to dig it, you need to change your line slightly, because that's the outside of your house, but your digger bucket's going to be 900mm wide. So you need to find the centre of your wall for the centre of your dig. So to do that, our wall is 300mm wide. We would measure in 150mm. So we'd be putting a line, so your original pin, these are your original lines, so you'd be putting a pin, measuring 150mm, put a pin, 150mm, put a pin and put a line. You then mark that with your lime or your chalk, that'll give you your digging line. Do the same here, measuring 150, 150, put a line, put your chalk down, that'll give you your digging point. Same here, measuring 150, 150, put a line, chalk it, that gives you your digging, and the same here. So that gives you the centre of your dig.